So anybody that's been following along knows that I'm a rotational grazer. We started rotating on March the 30th. We made our first move off where we were feeding hay at. So today I'm going to go and look at those pastures that we've already grazed. We've made 3 moves so far, and going to check and see how the grassers are recovering. We're in a drought, pretty significant drought here in the southeast, and things are a lot slower than they normally are. So we're just going to check on that grass and see how everything looks, see what kind of recovery we're getting, see maybe if I need to prolong the rest period on some of these paddocks. So anyway, just thought I'd hop on and share what we're doing. All right, so the pasture that we're on right now is a pasture that we started grazing about 2 weeks ago. I actually came out and did some bush hogging out here over the weekend and clipped some of these tall fescue tops out. Little calves are having fun. We have got 15 more cows that we're waiting on calving, so anticipating that for sure. So here's the first pasture that we grazed. We do have some regrowth, but there's also a lot of bare spots, and we can count all that up to the drought. We have some thicker spots for sure where hay was rolled out, but for the most part it's pretty daggum thin. And this has had 6 weeks of rest now, so kind of see what our pastures are looking like. I have reduced the amount of cows on this farm just because of the drought conditions. It's really kind of thin, a lot of dead stuff. I mean, overall though, I mean, you just look at it and it looks like there's a bunch of grass here, but let's go to the next one and see what it looks like. Waiting on this lady here. She has been making a bag, and I would have already figured she'd calve by now, but she is still holding on. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. All right, here's another pasture we've already grazed, and it looks like there's a lot of stuff here. But again, if you'll just look at the ground, I mean, there's just not much there. This is some ryegrass that's kind of sprigged back up. Some of these other places are much more bare. We got some Bermuda grass here, starting to kind of come in a little bit. But you can see where we've grazed right here, and we still got all these ends that are kind of cut off. You want to wait till all your plants have a pointy end again like that before you move back onto it. And I think if you move on to it too fast, kind of do a little bit more harm than good. These native grasses, you can overgraze them and just kill them. It's not like planting rye or wheat or something in pastures. You're just going to hammer it with the cows, and because you're going to go back and till it all up, and it ain't going to matter. But you got to protect these native grasses and just make sure that we're not overdoing it on them. Yeah, you can see where we... So this pasture here has had, I guess about 30 days rest on it right now. We'll go check the last one though. And this one here doesn't look any better than the one we moved to. I mean, it doesn't matter how much rest it's had. They all seem like they've just stalled out because of the drought. Not really a whole lot of regrowth at all. So it's almost like, even though we've gotten, 6 weeks of rest on the first rotation, I mean, we still don't have a whole lot of grass. So I guess we can thank the drought for that. this pasture I'm in now, it's only had 2 weeks worth of rest. And I mean, it's got some good regrowth for just 2 weeks. I mean, you can see where they've nipped it down. If you can see that or not. But so every one of these paddocks, from the one that's had 6 weeks worth of rest all the way down to this one here with only 2 weeks rest on it. I mean, this is bottom land over here, so there's a little bit more water, but I mean, to me it all looks like if I didn't know any better, I'd say every bit of it's only had the same amount of rest, just because I've got the same amount of regrowth from a 6 week graze, 4 week graze, and then a 2 week graze. So it's kind of, I guess that's just what it is. It's what we got because of this drought. So now we'll look at the hay crop. And there's a lot, it looks like there's a lot there, but it's actually pretty thin. These tops on this fescue make it look like there's, you know, chest high grass in there, but if you look down underneath, I mean, there's not a whole lot there. So you can obviously tell that we've had I'd say we've had probably 3.5 inches of rain in the last 2 weeks. So that's the reason why my pastures are all looking like they've had the same amount of rest, because even though we've had 6 weeks worth of rest on the one paddock and only 2 weeks worth of rest, you know, on the last one we grazed before we made this last move, all the grass is the same because we've not had any rain till the last 2 weeks. So I mean, even though they've rested for 6 weeks now on that first move, we haven't grown any grass. We've grown the same amount of grass that we've grown in the last 2 weeks on the other moves. So, you know, the rotational grazing thing works great, but you got to have rain. I mean, I love it. I love it. I'm glad that I do it. So that's my takeaway. We got to get out and we got to check our pastures. We got to make sure that we're growing grass. Just because you've had 45 days rest or 60 days rest, it doesn't really matter. You've got to have rain. So it's just a drought that we're in. Hey, if we wasn't in a drought, I'd have grass, you know, chest deep on that first move, but it just, you know, we just haven't had the rain. So y'all keep praying for rain. Y'all keep eating beef, and we'll keep growing cattle. Take care.